Hi you guys, welcome back to my channel. As you can tell by the title, we are going to be talking about a new CoverGirl foundation that has come out. This is the TruBlend Matte Made Foundation, and they have 40 different shades, you guys. 40 different shades, 3 different categories, a light, medium, and a deep, and a bunch of different undertones. Okay, so when I got this box yesterday, I was floored. Like, I was even more excited than the previous CoverGirl box that I got because I'm a makeup artist and this is going to make my job so much easier as far as finding a shade for my very pale girls and also my very dark girls. So I'm just going to show you guys the box. It's really big and really heavy and it keeps slamming down on me, but this is the box. And it's, like I said, it has the very, very, very light shades up at the top, and then it has the very, very, very deep shades at the bottom, and then, you know, the middle shades, which is like one row up from the bottom, is the medium tones girls. And they also have 4 different primers that came out. So I'm just going to set this on my vanity because it's very, 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 very heavy. And I'm going to swatch the darker shades for you guys because that is what I know most of you guys are the most excited about. So I'm going to swatch those for you guys and also go into the little pamphlet that they sent over as well. So if you guys are interested in seeing some swatches, a review, first impression, then please keep on watching. So the little notepad, it says, or pamphlet, it says, because we listened. CoverGirl set out to create a foundation that works for all skin types, so we listened to you and were inspired to create the TruBlend Matte Made. They also have concealers as well, which I don't have any of their concealers for my skin tone. It says it's inclusive of all skin needs. TruBlend Matte Made minimizes pores, controls shines, feels comfortable on your skin, and stays put for 12 hours. So that is 4 different claims that it claims. Minimizing pores, which I have really large pores, controls shines, which is really good for anyone that's oily or even combo skin, feels comfortable on your skin, and stays put for 12 hours. 12 hours is a long time. My pot roast was just on for 12 hours. And then it says it's 40 shades of foundation, easy navigation with 4 shade ranges, numbered from light to deep, so it's L, M, T, and D. Actually, I misspoke earlier. Warm, cool, and neutral undertone calls out to help you find your perfect match, which if you guys don't know, that some of our main concerns as women of color is that we don't have those different kind of undertones that we need, like the yellow, the golden, the red, the neutral, the cool, all those different undertones for different, you know, skin tones. It says it's oil-free, transfer-resistant, pore-minimizing, and all-day comfort. So that's another one of the claims that they claim. And then the TruBlend Skin Primer Base. So they have a skin smoothing one, which looks like this. It visibly smooths skin for a perfect canvas. And then we have a color neutralizing one, which looks like this. It's going to be green, so this neutralizes redness and helps correct uneven skin tone. So if you're a little bit more fair, if you suffer from redness or anything like that, that is going to be a really, really good primer for you. Then they have the pore minimizing one. Don't throw it at yourself. Pore minimizing one, which visibly reduces pores, blurs pores, and mattifies the skin. So this one is supposed to do 2 in 1, mattify and also blur skin. And then illuminating, it is a pearl pigment, illuminate and hydrate to enhance skin's radiance. So this one is more so if you have like drier skin or you just want an overall radiance on your face, you're going to want to use those primers. So there's 4 different primers for 4 different skin concerns, which is amazing. I don't know how much these foundations are, but I'm going to look them up right now before we even get into the review because I will forget. Okay, so I had to do some searching because on the CoverGirl website they didn't have the prices list, but on Teen Vogue Makeup they said that they are $11. So your typical drugstore price for a foundation. So let's go ahead and swatch this deep row and then see how all of those shades look. I'm going to attempt to swatch them all on my hand and then we're going to go from there. So this first shade is called D10, which is pretty light. This is what D10 looks like, and I'm assuming that this one has a little bit more of a yellow golden undertone because it is pretty golden. It is called Golden Caramel D10. Next we have D15 Warm Tawny, which I used to use the shade Tawny in their foundation a good while ago. And that looks like that. That might actually be about my skin tone, the warm tawny. It's just a little bit red, so, you know, this one's probably a little bit more of like a red undertone. Then we have True Caramel, which is D20, which is a lot more of like a neutral undertone. This one looks like that. A lot more like golden as opposed to neutral. It kind of looks like poop in the, like baby poop, baby food or something in the container. Then we have Bronze, which is a little bit more like a pink kind of undertone, more neutrally pink. That one is the shade Bronze. As you can see, they all have a lot of different undertones. Like these undertones are completely different. I don't even know what shade I'm gonna be. Like if I'm being completely honest, like I have no idea what shade I'm gonna be. This next one is Deep Bronze, so just a few shades. This one's D40, a few shades darker than Bronze. And that one is still pretty warm. So we're getting into the shade range where the shade numbers where I assume that I'm gonna be, but this is D50, this is Deep Golden, which looks just like this. Oh, that's really warm. Like it doesn't look, oh, Then we have the shade D60. We're getting into our darker shades. This is the fourth darkest. This is called Toasted Almond, which looks like that. This next one is D70. This is Cappuccino, which I use Cappuccino in the Revlon foundation, but I think this one is going to be way too dark. Might be more of like my summer shade. So now we have the second to the darkest shade, which is called Soft Sable, I'm sorry. And Soft Sable usually is my shade in a foundation range, but as you can see, that one's way too dark for me. And this is D80. This one's gonna be for like, for the chocolate girls. This last foundation is the darkest foundation that they have, which is Espresso. And this one is very, very, very deep. So this is the shade range, ranging from D10 all the way down here, all the way to D90. So there's 9 shades of the deeper foundation. I'm sorry, 10, I can't count. There's 10 swatches here of the foundations. And they range from pretty light to dark. And they all pretty much have a red undertone besides these two, which is D10 and D20. D10, the first one, and D20, the second one, are the only two that have more of like a yellow golden undertone, and the rest of them are pretty warm. D90 has more of like a cool undertone, but the rest of them are pretty warm. So that is the swatches. Now I'm gonna go ahead and try out the primer, and then I'm going to figure out which shade would be my shade. I think I'm gonna go with like Sable, Soft Sable, I think it was. I think that's the one that I'm going to try out. Okay, you guys, so I am going to try out the pore minimizing primer because I have really large pores. It's also in like a purple kind of tinge, a purple hue, so it's probably also kind of like a brightening primer as well. It doesn't claim to be, but that's just what I'm assuming. So it doesn't have that same consistency as, say, a Benefit Professional or Dr. Brandt Pores No More, where it has that kind of like thicker kind of feel, where I know it's gonna push into the pores. This one kind of feels more like a cream. It does have a scent, so it smells really clean, like a clean scent. So if you're like allergic or you have like sensitivity to smells or something like that, then I would watch that. And the shade that I decided to try out is D30. It's a little bit more like, I don't know, let's see how D30 works. So right off of the bat, this foundation is very, very, very natural. So I took about 3 pumps and I just blooped my beauty blender in there, and it just looks like natural skin. It doesn't give me that full coverage effect as I personally like, but if you're a woman that doesn't like to wear foundation or doesn't like to look like she has foundation on, this is going to be a really nice foundation for you. It is very comfortable. It has that signature kind of CoverGirl smell, like a I don't know, I've been using CoverGirl foundation for forever. I used to use their clean matte foundation, so I know what their smells smell like, but this is very, very, very light. It did not claim to be full coverage at all, just transfer resistant, oil free, lightweight, all day comfort, all of that. And I have some blemishes on my forehead, so after this layer of foundation I'm going to go in with another one because I personally like to wear a full coverage foundation. However, this shade looks really, really good on me, D30. I could mix in a little bit of D20 because D20 is a little bit more golden. However, I feel like if I do that it'll just make it a little too light, so I'm gonna stick with this. But the only thing I'm not liking about this foundation is that it's not full coverage. It's not giving me that Kat Von D locket, like thick, not thick, but full coverage. It's not giving me that full coverage feel. But I guess when you're catering towards an everyday woman who doesn't like to wear full coverage or doesn't like to look like she has on makeup, you're gonna want to do something like this. So this is very, very, very natural. If my skin was a little better, I would be all for this, but just not as full coverage. So here I am going in with a second layer of foundation, and I'm pumping out quite a bit, and I'm just going to see, is it buildable as well? Okay, you can build it up. If you're like me, you're just going to go through about a bottle a month because you're going to want to build this up to be very, very, very intense. However, if you're also like, I just want this for every day, or I want to buy something for my daughter who doesn't need a lot of makeup, but she just wants to cover something up, this is going to be nice. It's also pretty affordable. It's $11, whereas most foundations at the drugstore range from anywhere between $9 to about $14, depending on the brand. But now it's looking a lot better. Now this is looking like something that I would wear. So if you do decide to apply more than one layer of foundation, you do want to make sure that you set it down, so that way it doesn't have like right now it just looks like a natural finish, not really a matte finish, but you definitely want to make sure that you set it down because you're going to be using more than the suggested amount of foundation. You know, about 4 pumps of foundation would cover my face with just a natural finish, just with its regular coverage, but I needed about 8 to 10 pumps to give me a full coverage, so I had to go back in. But definitely, definitely, definitely a really good shade. Like, this shade is really, really, really nice. Like, really, really nice. Like, I wasn't expecting D30 to match my skin so well, but it does. So if you are anywhere between anywhere near my shade range, like I'm Deep Sable and NYX, I'm Cappuccino and Revlon, I'm anywhere between like Deep Golden, Coconut, and Maybelline, like any high-end foundations, like just let me know down below. But if you're anywhere near me, like a MAC NC50, this D30 is going to be a nice shade, and I'm really glad that it's Deep 30. So Deep 30, I am finally not the darkest shade in a shade range. So there's 6 more shades darker than I am, since there's 10 shades for the deep range. So, CoverGirl, come through, girl. So I am really, really, really happy about that. It is starting to settle onto my skin, so it's not looking like natural or greasy. It's just looking pretty normal. So this is the way that the foundation is looking right now. You can still see my skin, you can still see some of the spots on my forehead. So once again, very, very, very natural foundation. You're not going to get that full coverage effect if that is something that you love. But so far so good. I'm really, really, really excited about this foundation. I will definitely keep using it, keeping you guys posted, everything like that. I, however, am not going to do a wear test today, just mainly for the fact that it's Mother's Day and I haven't seen my mom yet, so yeah, I just don't have really much time in the day. The primer, however, the pore minimizing primer, I would probably skip. It did not minimize my pores as much as other pore minimizing primers did. I do want to try the skin smoothing one because the skin smoothing one might be a little bit better for my skin. But I also sometimes have to double prime because the outer perimeter of my face is a little bit more dry and the center of my face is really pory, so I have to use like a pore minimizing primer that I know will work, like a thick paste pore minimizing primer. But if you have smaller pores, this will do the justice for you, but for me, I have craters on my cheeks, so not really for me. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you guys found something useful and helpful. This foundation is going to be really nice for someone who just wants a light layer of foundation to look like they're done up, but don't want to overdo it by wearing like a really heavy foundation. I know that makeup nowadays in society nowadays, in the industry nowadays, everything has to be full coverage, full glam every single day, but this is a lot more natural, a lot more breathable, definitely a lot more breathable, a lot more just natural, everyday type of look. Like you can still see everything on my face, but it still looks like I have something covering it to even the base. So that is going to be really good whether you're 40 years old and you work all the time and you want something that's going to last and look good. This is going to be for you. Or if you're 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, if you're a teenager looking for something that you can look nice but not have to overdo it or feel done up all the time, this is going to be it. So once again, I am in the shade Deep 30 and there are so many different shades. I will list them down below so that way all the deep shades, that way you guys can find that, and I will see you guys in the next video. I love you all so much. Bye. That was my phone.